Hi. So, I just found out that one of my favorite singer-songwriters, David Berman, committed suicide. Doesn't surprise me at all. He was the lead singer of the Silver Jews, a band that disbanded after he and his wife split up. They've been married for like 20 years. So, I get it. Like, he was about to go on tour with this new band that he was in, and like the day before he was going to go on tour, he killed himself. At least that's the speculation. Now, of course, the conspiracy part of my brain is like, did he know about the shadow government? Because they found him in a park in Brooklyn, so. You never know. You never know the kind of stuff that other people know. It might have inspired their death more than the depression and the Xanax and the alcoholism and all that, There's so much. Suicide is the most misunderstood line of action. Like, I feel like I'm one of 5 people on the planet that understands why people commit suicide. And I've been thinking more and more about that Joker movie. And I really think that the reason why it was not well received at all, I mean, you can't expect a movie that's disturbing and, like, points a finger at society and how fucked up society is to do well with, critics that are part of that. This is the dark, you guys. Are you used to it yet? I'm like almost 3 hours late for work. No, you're going to be over 3 hours then when you get there. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to do you guys a favor. If you're still watching, you've probably already said, fuck this crazy bitch, and moved on with your life. Hold up. You guys get to watch the road for a second, okay? But, yeah, so I think that the reason why, people don't understand actual art when, there's something to say. Like, if you have something genuine to say, people usually hate it because there's something that you have noticed about society, and you probably noticed about yourself first, but then you can look at society and it's blatantly obvious that. I'm trying to find my phone, and it's really hard to do when I'm holding this camera. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay. Do y'all see that? Oh my god. My camera's gonna fall. Just letting you know what's gonna happen in the future. Okay, I found my phone. I'm back. You look scary as fuck. I know. Halloween is fast approaching though, so. Isn't that exciting? Maybe that's why Hillary Clinton came back out. She's a very scary person. That's why nobody wanted her to run the country. I mean, even people that voted for her, like, they knew that that was a fucking disaster. But, you know, I think the unfortunate thing about living in this world is that you really have to make sacrifices. And, like, there are a lot of things that you sacrifice, like, trying to be better. You know, like, a lot of people thought that, oh, well, Donald Trump's the worst thing for this country, so it would be better for me to vote for this lying, manipulative, morally corrupt piece of shit. You know, here's the thing, there is so much evidence of that. There is so much evidence of that, which is why they made such a big deal about that stupid video where, like, Donald was caught saying some disparaging things about Bollywood phonies. A bunch of bimbo actresses that, like, nobody actually cares about. That's who he was talking about when he said that you can grab him by the pussy. That's exactly who he was referring to. A bunch of bimbo actresses. But whatever. I mean, even if he was referring to all women, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's just talk. It's just fucking talk. But anyway, it's just, politics is nothing more than like a giant distraction. And I think that a lot of what the Joker was about was like showcasing how, like, everything's a distraction, but they never actually focus on anything that would make the world a better place. So, and nobody understands mental illness, and sheer proof of that is how people respond to suicide. So, you know, if you had an iPhone, if I had any phone that was better than this piece of shit, the flashlight would always stay on. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Sacrifices, y'all. Sacrifices. You don't get light. You don't get light in this video because Amy Gross refuses to conform. It's like there's so many other ways that I have to conform that I really don't want to, you know? So, I showed you guys the fucking the wall that I smashed in my house, attempting to go into the garage and failing. Yeah, that shit happened. And I was planning on taking care of the matter myself just so I didn't have to deal with my parents. And like everything else, I mean, this just echoes, you know, my childhood. Where I was like, you know, I really don't want to tell them about this because they're just going to scold me and they're going to say I'm irresponsible and I'm a bad driver, which I already know. And so I'm just going to try to take care of it myself. You know, I'm just trying to be responsible. I'm going to try to take matters into my own hands. And so I went to Home Depot and I bought this, I guess it's like mortar. Pretty cheap stuff. Probably why Antifa uses it. But yeah, they use it. They put it in like shakes. You know, like a milkshake. You know how like In case you guys didn't know, in case you're not aware of what's actually happening, Antifa is my satirical version of Antifa, and they are a far leftist, militant. Whoa! Ooh, shit. Yes, they're a militant far leftist group that people on the right call a terrorist group. Though I don't know if I'd go that far, but they're pretty extreme though. I mean, they're basically just like a bunch of like uncreative thugs that wear masks and pretend that they know what fascism is, and they beat people up in the streets if they're just having like peaceful protests. It's always like a peaceful protest until they show up fighting fascism. But anyway, they're known for throwing milkshakes on people that they disagree with. Not actual literal Nazis, but just, anybody that happens to be conservative or libertarian or whatever. They take it upon themselves to, let their voice be heard via milkshake. So, yes, they toss milkshakes on these people, and, a lot of people were like, oh, that's stupid, why are you freaking out about that? That's nothing, it's just a drink. Well, of course they'd find a way to, make it a lot worse. So they started filling up these drinks with like quick drying cement. So whenever they toss a drink on somebody, they're not just tossing a drink, they're essentially tossing a brick. Which is pretty fucked up. It's fucked up that they're doing something that's way more violent under this clever disguise of non-violence, this, oh, well, it's just playful, it's just silly, it's just stupid, these people are just immature, and, it's like, no, they're actually, they are somewhat of a threat, to our democracy and our livelihood and our well-being, if like, they're preventing, like, the residents of Portland, Oregon to be able to just go about their lives. I mean, nobody cares about anything until it affects them. And then all of a sudden it's like we're supposed to give a fuck. And I don't know. I don't. This is why I related to the Joker. I just don't have any compassion for these people. Like, it's hard to have compassion for people that just don't give a fuck about anything. And then when it's most convenient, sorry, I wasn't sure if there was a police officer behind me. It was making me nervous. What you can do is you can switch lanes. And if you switch lanes, then you'll discover if he's a police officer or not, because then he'd probably follow you, right? Well, I think it's kind of weird because nobody has stayed behind me this long. Everybody leaves. Oh, but you're doing the thing with the phone though. And they know that. Oh no, they left, never mind. They're not a cop. There they go. Whoa! Y'all like my ceiling? I'm surprised it hasn't fallen apart. But anyway. I think I'm gonna go see that movie again, actually. Because, like, I don't see movies very often because, like, most movies are crap. And, like, I have a very strict policy when it comes to movies. especially considering like how expensive they are in the theater nowadays. And I like to go all out, you know. I like to spend at least $30 when I go see a movie. So, and I'm by myself too. I never go see movies with other people because fuck all that. If you go see a movie by yourself, you can have your own like experience. That's pretty cool. A lot of people think they have to experience shit with other people. I mean, yeah, that's really cool if that happens. But I feel like a lot of times it's forced. You know, like, you know, there's a lot of talk about rape, you know, like regular ass rape. But what about, you know, just like feeling raped in a conversation? Now, I know that this is fucked up that I'm even like comparing that. It is fucked up. Because you're talking about something really serious and you're trying to like make it casual. You're like, oh, what about social commentary rape? You know, what about that? You know, they never talk about that. But here's the thing with comedy. It's supposed to be absurd. It's supposed to be raunchy. It's supposed to push boundaries, you know? And that's why it sucks now. It's because people are so afraid to push boundaries. They're so afraid of that. And they've always been afraid of that, and that's on both sides too. They want to make it about the left, but it's not about the left, man. This is about people's general oversensitivity to fucking everything. I mean, right before Doug Stanhope left his set at Zany's, he did an abortion joke that was pretty fucked up. Now, I'm not in favor of abortion anymore, but I still thought the joke was funny because it was a joke. And I knew that he was serious, though. It's not like I'm unaware of the comedy secret. The comedy secret that Louis C.K. completely exposed, that son of a bitch. I'm more mad at him about that than anything else. So it's not just that he exposed himself, it's like he exposed what we're really fucking doing. You know? Like, there's so many people, they don't lie on stage. Like, a lot of it's not a joke, you know? It's a way to be completely honest about how you really are. And that's what makes an art form, and that's what makes it fucking fantastic. You know, but yeah, I'm just grateful that I'm not so passionate about any particular issue that I can't, you know, laugh at a good joke. But yeah, I don't know. It makes perfect sense though. They hate that Joker movie because, I mean, it's a spoof on society, man. And they hate laughing at shit, obviously. They'd rather fucking whine about it and then pretend that they care. But, I mean, mental illness is a pretty common thing now. Well, they can't really ignore it anymore. Especially with what's his fucking office. So it's like, I mean, honestly, I do think that Donald Trump is crazy. I really do. But I think he's crazy in a good way. Just like I think I'm crazy in a good way. There are plenty of people that are crazy in a bad way, and there are people that are so-so. You know, like they could go either way. That's what we call bipolar. Like, the reason why I think that they made up bipolar disorder is because it doesn't sound that bad. It's like, oh no, you're just half crazy. You're just half crazy. Don't worry about it. Just take these pills for the rest of your life. Take these pills or you will kill yourself or others. Take these pills. That is the only solution. Take these pills. See, I feel like I'm the only actual comic that's punching up. Because people think they're punching up with religious institutions. Are you kidding me? They're not even punching the institution. Like, George Carlin was the only one that did that shit. They just, like, I hear a lot of people, they talk about, like, the Bible, or they talk about Jesus, and it's very clear to me that they're trying to be offensive, but it's not offensive to liberals. Liberals hate God. They fucking hate God. They hate anything that makes them have to be accountable for anything. So of course they're gonna hate God. Of course they're gonna hate something that forces them to be aware of themselves. You know? It makes perfect sense, which is why they worship the state. It's why they worship this idea that they can fix the world. They can't fix themselves, but they're gonna fix the planet. They're gonna fix the system. They're gonna fix the system. Now, I mean, I think the system's broken, for sure. But that's the problem, is like we're expecting a system to make things right, you guys. Like, I just can't believe that people are this fucking optimistic about anything. But especially about, you know, like, politics and pills. Politics and pills, what are the similarities? People want to make it simple. You know, you just pop a pill. You'll be fine, you just pop a pill. You'll be able to sleep, just pop a pill. You won't have panic attacks anymore, just pop a pill. You won't be sad every day, you won't think anything, you won't feel anything, just pop a pill. It's like, I mean, that's what they do though. Like all of these solutions, they're quick fixes that don't actually face what the problems really are. So, you know, like affirmative action is a good example of that. Where they were like trying to fix the system that they thought was broken for African Americans. But it actually just made it worse. And I think that it made people more racist. Now, I talked to this friend of mine, coworker, black dude, and we were talking about affirmative action, how it's just not like it might have been. Like, my issue with it is that it's just another way for like people to think that they're doing something, but it's never enough. And it's like, if you're not a Democrat, that means that you don't give a fuck about minorities and you don't give a fuck about people in marginalized groups and shit. That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. Because literally, all the Democrats do is pretend to care. And it's like, if you don't go along with these policies that involve like excessive taxation, then you don't give a fuck about them. And that's lazy. It's not just like, that's like morally wrong. I'm offended because you're saying that I don't care about poor people. I'm offended because you're calling me a racist or some shit. You know, it's like, why would I get offended by that? I know that I'm not. I know who the fuck I am. But they don't know who the fuck they are, which is why they think that you're going to be real bothered if you get called a racist when you're obviously not. I mean, it's these people that are horribly insecure that are projecting all of their insecurity onto other people, and I hate it though, because I don't want to make this a left or right issue, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that I feel a certain way. And like, if you just pay attention to, you know, the country, if you pay attention to, you know, all the distractions and all the stuff that they talk about on TV, and it's like, and then you read really, really horrible stuff that in like the, what's it called? The local news. And it's like, why isn't this stuff being talked about? You know, oh shit. Sounds worse than my car. You're not that bad, Fiona. I love you, flip phone. I'm sorry that I said you were a piece of shit. You're not a piece of shit. See, I appreciate this phone. And this phone is just, I mean, you guys have seen these, right? Do you remember them? I know it's been a long time. This is an artifact for you. But for me, this is an everyday object. But I leave this phone so many places. Yeah, the last time you lost it was over Christmas. That's when everybody thought you killed yourself. That was like really bad timing. But like, what's new? My timing is always like amusing. But anyway, I love this fucking hat. It's so stupid and silly. But yeah, so it's just like the stuff they talk about on the local news is like pretty fucked up stuff versus the stuff they talk about in like the mainstream media, which is just retarded. Like, personally, I don't give a fuck about celebrity. Like, I just don't. Like, you know how there's like racism and sexism and homophobia? I think that I have some, there's like an ism. I guess it's classism, right? Is there like an ism? Could I like hate celebrities? You know, is that okay? Like, because I feel like that's an ism that should be acceptable. That should be an ism that more people go along with, you know? Because if they want to bitch about class so much, and they want to bitch about rich people so much, why the fuck are they taking all their advice to like listening to a bunch of rich people? A bunch of rich people that profit off of this bullshit. Like, I mean, especially with the climate, like, a lot of these businesses, if they go along with this climate change nonsense, then they get what are those things called? Pollution emission points or something like that. Yeah. Like BP, MAPCO, like all the major like corporations, they're gonna profit off of a bunch of bullshit. So it's actually not hurting these companies. Like, they just have to go along with it. They just have to play ball, you know? Even if it's like totally corrupt and, you know, it's just, we're on our way to communism, you guys. How exciting. Personally, I just look at it like a challenge, you know? Survival of the fittest. We fit. You're fit and you know it. You guys like the streets? If you need a good laugh, just listen to the streets. They're still fun though. They're like, it's mainly, it's a dude from the UK who's like a rapper and he's really, really bad. But his music is funny, which is why I listen to it. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside. 3 hours. Let's see how late you are. Let's see here. It doesn't matter. We're late. We're fucking late. It's over 3 hours now. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.